Hi guys, Andy Morgan from Total Therapy Birmingham again, and my cat here for a bit of company. Here to carry on moving on from the base chakra to the sacral chakra. We talked last time about the fears of babies, the fears that are manifested in us to survive at the simplest level. And that's why all of our fears and all of our insecurities are around, because without them, we worry that we won't survive. We don't think we will survive. But the problem with it is, as I mentioned in the description of the last video, is those only apply when we're babies. We are one of the only species where when we're born, we're pretty much incapable. We can't walk, we can't talk, we can't fend for ourselves. So the fears that we have are valid, and without the actions of babies to tell their parents when they're hungry, there's just the only communication we have when they're hungry, when they're tired, when they don't feel safe, when they don't feel warm, when they're not comfortable. The only thing we have is those reactions. But that doesn't apply as we grow. Children are far more capable than most adults give them credit for, and we mollycoddle our kids a lot. We want to keep them safe. It's what was done for us by our parents and by our grandparents. They want to keep us safe. But the problem is they reinforce the insecurities and reinforce the fears, and most particularly the one about insecurity. How many times have you been told by your parents or your grandparents, you need help with that, you can't do it by yourself? And we have that as a child, because as a child it's true. We are learning, we don't know how to, going off my own experience, build a little Lego model, because we've never done it before. We don't know how to throw a ball, we don't know how to chop our own food up, because we've never done it before. We don't have the dexterity, we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the coordination. But very, very often that's maintained. Our parents will do it. Here, let me do that for you. Here, let me help you with that. Here, I see you're struggling with it. Let me help you with it. And again, it's not a dig at parents. I've done it. My parents have done it. But it creates and reinforces insecurities that kids can't do it by themselves. And they grow up with this. Or they go stubborn as hell and they want to do everything by themselves, but then they miss out on the learning potential or the guidance potential. And a lot of our insecurities are based on needing other people in our lives. And there's a rule, there's a principle in our school, or you could also argue Mary Poppins. Was it Mary Poppins? Nanny McPhee. If you need someone in your life, then there's actually a problem. If you need someone to do something for in your life, without obviously a serious reason, illness, even then, we have the capacity to do anything by ourselves and live by ourselves. And this is only something you can find by doing. But the more you do it, the more you take control of your life, the more you take on the responsibilities of your life for yourself, the more you realize you can do it. And the less you need people. Now, as soon as you stop needing people, the people who are stealing from you in your life, draining you, keeping you down, will disappear. And suddenly the only people in your life are the ones that you want. And that is a very, very healthy place to be. But I wanted to go into that because it's the tail end and the further end of insecurities and fears. But in this video, I wanted to go into the sacral and the solar plexus chakra, looking taking a step back and looking at insecurities and willpower. With relatively short, for me, of two situations and scenarios. And it's not only about the powers of within our systems, but how they get damaged and destroyed. And this is something that to understand, once you can grasp this, you can suddenly see how you affect other people in your life and how other people affect you in your life. So, base chakra, fear of survival. Sacral chakra, insecurities, needing and wanting people around them and needing to feel safe. Solar plexus chakra, willpower, strength of self. And then heart, love. So I'll take you way back to the gruesome twosome and 3-year-olds, and where children start to explore. And when they pick up or aim towards that thing that you really don't want them to grab and have and play around with, sharp knives and ornaments and whatever else, they are exerting their power of will. They want to know what that is. I've seen mummy and daddy use it, or mummy and mummy using it, or daddy. I've seen my parents using it. I've seen my grandparents using it. I've seen my aunts and uncles using it. I want to know what it is. But for their safety, we take it off them. Now what happens? They get in a hell of a tantrum, stomp and shout and yell and scream, I want. We have taken away or damaged and attacked their willpower. So yeah, they're going to defend it. But once the storm is over, what's the first thing they do? Now, you're looking at a chakra level, their willpower is damaged. So the energy cascades down to the sacral chakra. Insecurities, needing to feel secure. The first thing they want to do, they want to cuddle. They want to hug. They want to feel close to you. Now the problem can be that if they've kicked up so much of a storm that they've angered the parents, which, trust me, it happens, the last thing you want to necessarily do is give them a hug. But I urge you to consider it and try it, because at that stage you will reinforce the sacral chakra. You will reinforce that they are secure. You might not like them, but you still love them, and you still want them to be safe. Now, if it's one of those days where you're at your tether, you're tired, you're fed up, it's not the first time this has happened, because they did it yesterday and they did it the day before, it was something different, and you don't want to give them a hug. The last thing you want to do is give them a hug. And it cuts you, but you really don't. If you're honest, you don't. So you send them to bed, or you send them to the corner. Energy-wise, we've already damaged the willpower, the sacral chakra. Now we've weakened the sacral chakra underneath. So solar plexus chakra, sacral chakra. Their insecurities are weakened. So they fall back to the base chakra, their fears. Now I guarantee if you put a child to bed and that situation has gone on, you can immediately tell when they are living in base chakra, because they'll be hungry, they'll be thirsty, they will tell you they're cold, they'll tell you they're scared, they will want to go to the toilet, or if they don't go to the toilet, they may wet themselves in the night. And we as adults will yell at them. No, you don't need a drink. You've just had. I can't be hungry. You've just had dinner. They're not hungry. They're not thirsty. They don't need the toilet. They're not cold. They're scared. Their fear, their base chakra, is weak, and they will act in a way that tries to support it. And very often, because they are odd requests to us, if we don't understand, we won't let them have them. And then the base chakra is weakened. by that situation. Difficult as it sounds, and it is difficult to accept that all the times we've done that, we've weakened them at their base level. We've made them potentially more afraid. But it's happened, and it's happened to us countless times. Hey, buddy. But that's not just with children. We don't grow out of that. We just change the habits. And worse, we do it to ourselves. So, we want something in life. We go for something, we strive for something, we want something. And we don't get it. Because life doesn't always work that way. What's the first thing we do? What's the first thing we want to do? We want to talk to someone. We want a hug. We go to the people closest to us and we want some comfort. We want to reinforce our solar plexus chakra has been damaged, our willpower has been weakened. So we want a hug. We go to our sacral chakra. Now that can be confused, and because it is part of the seat of the sexual energy, it can be confused with wanting sexual attention. I'll tell you a story about that another day. Not in detail, trust me. But if you... yeah, I'll tell you a story another day. But if we don't get a hug, if we feel alone, if we feel abandoned, then there's a collapse of the sacral energy. You want to be on camera. There's a collapse of the sacral energy. So then it falls to the base. As it did with the child, it will with us. And it causes collapse to the base chakra. Everyone goes, I'm an adult, I'm not afraid. I won't say I'm cold, I won't say I'm hungry, I won't say I'm thirsty. I won't wet the bed. Maybe not. But would you comfort eat? Would you go to the fridge and eat the food? You can as an adult, you can do what you like as an adult. Food's all yours. You're not really hungry, but you're going to keep eating. Or you go the other way, you'll starve yourself. You will attack your own body by not eating. You might get drunk. And you toxify your bed, toxify your body. You might not say, well, as a child they may say that they're not sleepy, but we as adults will actually go to bed. We'll hide, curl up. We will protect ourselves from the world around us, cuddled ourselves in our blanket, in our duvet, in our bed. We'll stop showering. In extreme situations, stop showering, stop brushing our teeth. We won't look after ourselves as well. We'll actually damage our own cleanliness and hygiene and make ourselves more likely to be ill. All of those are traits related to our fundamental base fears, related to the base chakra. When we get to that stage, we give up. We stop trying to survive. We stop fighting. We stop living. Now, in short term, we bounce back, but there is still a damage to the base chakra, damage to our sacral chakra, damage to our solar plexus chakra that we have to then rebuild. But over long term, we stop trying. We give up. And when that happens, we start to stagnate. Stagnation over long term will lead to death. In the short to mid-term, depression, anger, anxiety, lack of self-worth, hate of the world, all the things that we see around us. Fundamentally because we're afraid, and our lower energies and our base energies and our root energies. That's why one of the things I strive towards is coaching for roots to resilience. Reinforce yourself from the root. Make yourself strong. Remind yourself that you can. Remind yourself that you're capable. Get rid of your fears. Get rid of your insecurities. Build yourself up from the ground up. And remember who you really are underneath. Strong, capable, and worth surviving and worth living. A grandiose end, but I hope it helps. I've been Andy Morgan from Total Therapy Birmingham, and I wish you all a good day and good night.